What's going on, fellow photographers? Today we're going to be jumping into the color shift feature in the develop module. And the cool thing about the color shift in Zoner Photo Studio is that you can take any color you already have and turn it into a color that you want. Dude, David, this is my video.
I like colors. Sorry.
Colleagues. Alright, so I've already got the develop module open, and I'm using a picture you might recognize from a former session where we applied a tattoo on the model's arm here. And to see that in more depth, visit our library and check out the layers and masks video. So today we want to focus on shifting colors, and what I would really like to do is match this rhododendron and the flowers on it towards more of a tone and hue that's similar to the tattoo on the arm here. And to do that, we have the develop module open and we go down to color shift. By default, the basic is open, but we want to use the advanced version today, where I'll show you the color wheel and how to take advantage of it. So let's start off by selecting the eyedropper here for adjusting hue and hover over the rhododendron flower itself. And then I'm going to select it and watch what happens in the color wheel. So what happened is I selected a shade or spectrum within where the flowers exist right now. And notice the black dot in the middle here. This is the exact tone where the rhodies are existing at. And I want to take their color and shift it more towards something matching this red rose on the arm here. Notice that when I hover over the rose right here, there's a new dot that's moving around within the spectrum on the top of the spectrum we selected in the circle. And I want to eventually shift these flowers to match this. The color wheel here represents all of the shades within the photograph itself. The center of the circle represents the lightest saturated colors, whereas the outside represents the most saturated versions of that color. So now that we have our color selected and the spectrum, I'm going to use the mask here to figure out where the tone that we selected exists. It gets rid of all of the other colors in the picture, which is great so that we can isolate them. And as you can see, the tone we selected exists here on her shirt, right here. It also exists here on her lips, here in her eyes, and even a bit here in her hair. So what do we do with this problem? Well, we're going to use the dots here on the color wheel to isolate that exact hue and tone of saturation. So first, I'm going to pull up from the lightly saturated tones as close as possible to our selected tone. Just like that. Next, I'm going to isolate this section here away from the purples. And lastly, I'm going to shift from this upper point here for more of the reds, closer to purple. And as you can see, it's completely disappeared, the points that we have issues with before. Therefore, now when I move with this part here, which is going to change the tones we've selected, it won't affect any of the parts that were selected before. Another cool thing about the mask is, besides working here with the inverted version, you can use the normal version, and you can also use the mask only version. But I prefer this inverted. I think it's really clean and you can easily see which parts you're working with. Okay, now that we've isolated our color, I'm going to turn that mask off. Voila. And now I can play around with this outermost wheel here. And as I said before, this is the part where we change the color of what we've selected. So I can go round and around the color wheel here. Okay, but enough playing around. We're here to be focused. So I'm just going to take my eyedropper again. And just for reference, I'm going to go above the rose. And if you look at the color wheel, you should see a lighter gray dot that's moving around, and that is the spectrum within where this rose color exists. Therefore, I'm going to move this a bit up to isolate that frequency. I think it's right about there. Yes. Okay, so we're already really close. However, I think we could touch it up just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is turn down the luminance here just ever so slightly. And I'm going to pump up the saturation a bit as well, just to get it a bit closer to where we want, without making it look fake. That's really important. And voila, we've achieved the colors that we wanted to. I think it matches up very nicely now, and that's one way to take advantage of the color wheel. And that's it. I hope this was easy to understand and follow. I hope that you take advantage of the color wheel and play around with your own photographs and create something interesting. And let me know what you think in the comments below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And until then, see you later.